Hi boys and girls, thanks for joining me for research reading today. I'm going to show you how you can do research reading at home. Now, I understand that you might not have books about the rainforest at home. You can find books about the rainforest on Epic. You can search for the keyword rainforests, and there are a lot of texts that come up. Now, just to remind you, the way that we do research reading is we read for 10 minutes and then we write for 10 minutes. Now, if you want to pause the video now, you can get your paper ready for us to start writing. And let's get started. So my paper's ready to go, and I'm going to set my timer to read for 10 minutes. Now, as I'm reading, I'm not going to be filling in my paper, so this paper is going to go away until my timer for 10 minutes is over. And the book that I'm going to read today is called Tropical Rainforests. And we're going to read for 10 minutes. I have a timer that I'm about to start. When the timer stops, we're going to stop reading. Just like when we do research reading in the classroom, after 10 minutes, we stop reading and we start writing. Let's get started. And this book says, it's a little bit of a glare. It says, find the truth. Everything you are about to read is true except for one of the sentences on this page. Which one is true? True or false? Less than half of all living insect species are known by scientists. I think that one might be true. I know that there are a lot of insects in the world. The other one says true or false. Most tropical rainforest plants live on the forest floor. Now, I think that one's false. And the reason why I think that it's false is because we've been learning about the rainforest, and I have a feeling that there are more plants and animals that are in the canopy than on the forest floor. Let's find out. So here we have a table of contents. I can tell that this is a non-fiction book, because nonfiction books have a table of contents. All right. The Rain and Heat, Chapter 1. Imagine walking into a tropical rainforest. You feel a carpet of leaves beneath your shoes. The smell of wet soil fills your nostrils. The air is hot, wet, and noisy. Before long, you are sweating. Birds, insects, monkeys, and other animals are chirping and chattering. Far below the treetops, the forest floor is dark. The space is full of trees, vines, and mist. And this caption says that the tallest trees in the rainforest can grow up to 292 feet. And here I see a picture of a man climbing up the trunk of the tree, and it says this man looks tiny compared to the towering trees of the Costa Rican rainforest. So the rainforest that we're reading about in class is about a rainforest in Belize, which is a different country in South America. This picture is from a rainforest in Costa Rica. A long, long time ago, tropical rainforests covered most of the land 100 million years ago. Earth was warmer and wetter than it is today. 60 million years later, the planet's climate began to cool off. It became drier. Tropical rainforests began to shrink. The areas left behind became deserts and grasslands. Cooler forests developed in many parts where trees lost their leaves in the colder months. And this caption says, grasslands today often flourish near the edges of tropical rainforests. Tropical rainforests lie on the equator. This area is home to the hottest places on Earth. Where the climate is wet enough, tropical rainforests bloom. The largest are in Central Africa and along the Amazon River in South America. They are also found in Central America, Australia, Asia, and several islands in the Pacific. More than half of the world's tropical rainforests are found along the Amazon River. And this map shows Earth's tropical rainforests. So here's the world map, and the areas in green are where you can find tropical rainforests. So here's South America. There's most of the rainforests in the world are found here. There are some in Africa and some islands in the Pacific in Asia. Tropical rainforests are hot and humid. Much of the moisture in these rainforests is in the air. And we talked about that's what humidity means. Temperatures are usually between 68 and 84 degrees Fahrenheit. The humid air can make it seem even warmer. Very little wind blows to cool things off. Most tropical rainforests have no dry season. They get rain all year, which is about 100 inches falling each year. Temperature and rainfall change very little throughout the year. In fact, the temperature changes more between day and night than it does between summer and winter. Here's a caption that says, "Cloud cover keeps temperatures from rising too high. Rainforest air is so moist that clouds of mist often float overhead." And this caption says, "Heavy rainfall is one reason so many plant species grow in rainforest ecosystems." Layer upon layer. Here's a picture, and it says the layers of a rainforest are visible in this illustration. So when we're learning about the canopy of the rainforest, we're talking about this area of the rainforest where the treetops are. Tropical rainforests are like living leafy cakes. How? They're set up in layers, one on top of the other, a bit like the layers of a cake. Each layer is a little different from the ones above and below. Different plants and animals can be found in each layer. The amount of moisture and light changes too. In nature, the layers sometimes blend into each other, and it can be difficult to tell apart. That's interesting. The emergent layer. The highest layers are the emergent layer and the canopy. That's what we're learning about. The emergent layer is the very tops of the trees. This is where the sun shines and raindrops first land. The forest's tallest trees are usually 150 to 180 feet high. Strong winds blow against the treetops. These tall trees must be strong to withstand the winds. Bats, butterflies, and some monkeys live in this layer. And this is a type of monkey that lives in the canopy but may visit the lower levels to play. Ooh, the canopy. This is what I want to hear about. And it says about half of all plant species grow in tropical rainforest canopies. Ooh, I was right about that from the beginning. The forest canopy is packed tightly with leaves and branches of tall trees. The canopy. Closely packed treetops form an unbroken cover of leaves and branches. This canopy is dense. It stands about 130 feet above the ground. Living among the treetops are millions of plants. Flowering plants such as orchids grow up here. So do mosses, fungi, and algae. Orchids attach to trees with their clinging roots. Many animals in the emergent layer above also live in the canopy. So a lot of the same animals that are in the emergent layer, you can also see in the canopy. I have about 2 minutes left. I'm going to keep reading until my timer goes off. The understory and shrub layers. Below the canopy are the understory and shrub layers. These are much darker than the layers above. Only about 5% of the available sunlight makes it through the canopy. The herbs, ferns, vines, and small trees growing here live with very little sunlight. Countless birds and reptiles live here. So do boa constrictors, which can grow up to 14 feet long. Jaguars and leopards can also be found in some rainforests. And this says that the emerald tree boas spend most of their time coiled around branches in South American rainforests. They rarely visit the forest floor. Termites live and travel together in large groups. A single colony of rainforest termites can have millions of insects. The forest floor. The forest floor receives only about 1% of the forest's sunlight. Very few plants live here. Instead, the ground is covered mostly by dead leaves and other matter. Termites and even smaller living things eat away at it, so that it decomposes into nutrients that plants can use for food. Here's a picture. It says parrots are known for their colorful feathers and ability to learn words. Crowded space. Parrots are found in every tropical rainforest in the world. So that means that there are parrots in South America, in Asia, in Africa, in parts of Australia. Oh, there is my timer. Now it's time for me to start writing. I'm going to take my paper back out again. And let's take a look at what we're writing about. So before we get started, let's record some of this important information. Let me just get us in focus here. There we go, that's better. So the title of my book can be found on the front cover, and the title is Tropical Rainforests. So I'm going to record that down, and this should only take, it really shouldn't take that long for me to write down the title and this information before I start really doing the important writing. And the author, his name is on the front cover. Sometimes with books, you have to open up to the first cover page and the author's name will be on there as well. So I'm going to record the author's name. And now I'm going to record how many pages I read. Now remember, we only read for 10 minutes, so we probably didn't finish the whole book. I know that I did not finish. I started on page 1 and I stopped at page 19. So I'm going to record pages 1 through 19. And let's take a look at our prompt. Our prompt says, record 2 or 3 facts in your own words about the rainforest or rainforest animals. So when it says record, that means that I'm going to write. I'm going to write 2 or 3 facts. Now, it's important to know the difference between a fact and an opinion when you're doing this type of research reading. A fact is something that can be proven. So for example, a fact about this parrot is that this parrot has red feathers. That's a fact. Now an opinion would be this parrot is very beautiful. You might agree with me, but that's my opinion about the parrot. I want to be writing facts, things that I can prove. The feathers are red. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be skimming through the book and we're going to be refreshing our memory so that we can find facts about the rainforest or rainforest animals. So I was just thinking back to the true and false section of this book. And it said, true or false, most tropical rainforest plants live on the forest floor. And we found out that that was false. And I can write that as my first fact. My first fact is going to be that rainforest plants, they don't live on the forest floor. About half of all plant species grow in the tropical rainforest canopies. So writing that in my own words, I'm going to say that most of the plants in the rainforest grow in the canopy. Most plants in the rainforest grow in the canopy. That was a fact that I read. That is something that I can prove. Let's take a look at another page. And it's talking about the rainforest's climate. Tropical rainforests are hot and humid. Much of the moisture in these rainforests is in the air. Temperatures are usually between 68 and 84 degrees Fahrenheit. The humid air can make it seem even warmer. Very little wind blows to cool things off. Most tropical rainforests have no dry season. They get rain all year, with about 100 inches falling each year. Temperature and rainfall change very little throughout the year. In fact, the temperature changes more between day and night than it does between summer and winter. So one of the things that I read and I want to put into my own words is about the rainforest's climate. And we compared the rainforest climate to the climate in California. The first sentence here says that most tropical rainforests have no dry season. And we talked about how that's one of the major differences between the rainforest and where we live in California. In California, there is a rainy season, and we're getting some of that rain right now. It's, winter is almost over. It's the beginning of spring. But during later months in our year, November and October, it's very hot and dry, and we almost get no rain at all. So rainforests are different from where we live because there is no dry season. And it says that there is not a lot of changes between summer and winter. So this tells me that the rainforest experiences one season all year long, and that makes the climate very stable there. So in my own words, I'm going to write rainforests have a very stable climate all year long. The rainfall, that means how much it rains, and the temperature stay the same all year. That's what it means when a place has a stable climate. Its rainfall and its temperature stays about the same all year long. All right, I have 3 minutes left on my timer. I'm gonna try and challenge myself to get 3 facts about the rainforest and rainforest animals. I'm gonna take a look at a new page in my book so that I can reread and find a fact that I can record for my research reading. And I was thinking about this map. This map shows me Earth's tropical rainforests. And I learned something new because I know that there's rainforests in South America because we've been studying about the rainforest in Belize. But I didn't know that there were rainforests like this in Africa and Asia too. So that's another fact that I can write in my own words about where the rainforests are found. Rainforests are not only found in South America, but they're found in Africa, parts of Australia, and in Asia and the islands of the Pacific. And one special thing that they said was that rainforests are found near the equator. So I'm going to write rainforests can be found around the world along the equator. In South America, Africa, Asia, and Australia. And just as I am finishing this last fact, my timer is about to go off. But before we leave, I do want to talk about a couple important things when you're doing research reading by yourself. First thing is you want to pick a prompt that you feel confident answering. So one prompt that I like to use over and over is recording 2 or 3 facts in my own words about the rainforest or rainforest animals. And you can find these prompts also on our Google Classroom. The other thing that you have to think about is the book that you're reading. Like I said, you might not have books about the rainforest at your house, and that's okay. If you don't, go on to Epic and search for the keyword rainforests. I just looked at it. There's lots of different titles about the rainforest that you can read online. And you're gonna do it in the same way. Listen to the book about rainforests for 10 minutes, stop your timer, and then record your response. Your response can be done on a piece of paper just like mine, or you can do it on Google Docs too, so that you can keep a log of all of your research reading. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you had fun with me. I learned some more stuff about rainforests. Even though we're not at school, let's keep learning about the rainforest so that we can build our background knowledge about the rainforest. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.